UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Time for the agenda. Like I said, if you are a researcher and an academician, this is a conversation for you. Let me read that number for you again, 0709-602-592. You definitely want to be a part of this conversation as we are having it with Network for Education and Multidisciplinary Research Africa, NEMRA, and Uganda National Council for Science and Technology, UNCST. Now, representatives from both parties are here with me to speak into this particular conversation, especially as we look forward to the second annual NEMRA Research Dissemination Conference. It's Dr. Martin Ongol, Acting Executive Secretary of the Uganda National Council for Science and Technology, as well as Apofia Ajiresasi, Deputy Managing Director from NEMRA. Once again, good morning. Welcome to the show as we engage into this conversation. Once again, 0709-602-592. Good morning, Dr. Martin.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming to UBC.
Thank you too for hosting us this morning.
Right.
Sure.
Good morning, Apofia.
Good morning to you.
And thank you so much for coming to the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for hosting us.
Right. Starting with you, Dr. Martin, what is the Council's role in science, research, and innovation in Uganda?
Thanks a lot, and thank you, viewers. Uganda National Council for Science and Technology is a government agency responsible for promotion of science, technology, and innovation in the country. And normally we play a pivotal supportive role in promotion of science, technology, and innovation. We are under the Science, Technology, and Innovation Secretariat Office of the President. We are a government agency established by Act of Parliament in 1990. And in 2021, the government of Uganda, and especially the President, gave a directive where we were assigned 4 main key functions. One, of course, is regulation of all aspects of science, technology, and innovation in the country. The second one, we monitor all scientific, technological, and innovative activities in the country. And then the third one, of course, we go on to translate policies into actual practices, especially science policies. And the fourth one is the reason why we are here, that is homing of scientists, that is supporting professional science associations like NEMRA, building the capacity of scientists, and actually making sure that Uganda's science, and especially scientific community, contribute to production of knowledge-based goods and services. Those are basically a brief overview that I can give at the moment. And of course, all this is to make sure that there is public trust and confidence in Uganda's science, technology, and innovation. And our core function is mainly in the regulatory space. Thank you.
All right. Coming to you, Apofia, shed light on what NEMRA is about.
Thank you. NEMRA is the Network for Education and Multidisciplinary Research for Africa. It's a network that brings together postgraduate students, other career researchers, senior researchers, and industry. Our predecessors who started the organization, it's about coming 7 years.
Right.
What they had in mind was to demystify issues surrounding academic research, but also be able to bridge the gap between the research done at academia and industry. Maybe if I can give an example, we have an issue of garbage in Kampala, and we have so many studies that have been done before.
Right.
That were looking at waste handling and waste management. and some of them had already predicted what would actually happen, the garbage slide that happened. But the recommendations were never utilized anywhere. So those are some of the things that NEMRA came to bridge. So the kind of research that is being done in academia actually addresses the societal issues that we have.
So in other words, this research is implemented practically.
Yes, it should be implemented and just left to lie.
Right.
And pick dust in the shelves.
Very profound. Now, I did talk about the second annual conference, the NEMRA Research Dissemination Conference coming up, and I'd like to hear from you, Doctor. Why is UNCST involved in this particular conference?
Thanks. So UNCST is involved in this particular conference. One, as I mentioned earlier on, is due to that role that we play in terms of homing of scientists, that is bringing scientists together, networking, exchanging new ideas, and mainly with the hope that this will lead to advancement of science, technology, and innovation. And of course, along those lines, we have a memorandum of understanding with NEMRA, and it is along that memorandum of understanding that's why we are supporting this conference.
Right.
Thank you.
Apofia, what is the goal of this conference? First and foremost, tell us about the conference. By the time it's second annual, that means there was a first. Yes. What does it entail? What engineered the conference to take place annually, from the first one to the second one that is going to happen?
Okay, thanks so much. As you already said, we had the first conference last year.
Right.
And since this is a network of academics, postgraduate students, and career researchers and industry, this is a platform. The conference is one of those events that we hold annually to be able to bring those groups together to share knowledge and be able to impact each other. The conference is happening next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, which is 1st and 2nd of July, in Makerere University at the Yusuf Olule Auditorium. And our main theme is knowledge transfer and commercialization of research ideas to solve society problems and accelerate economic growth. And as you see, the theme itself will be able to bring together different partners, innovators and entrepreneurs who will interact with students and academia to see how we can be able to collaborate and forge partnerships.
Right. Very interesting. It has, first and foremost, in case you missed it and you're just joining in, NEMRA was launched 7 years ago, and this conference that Apofia has just talked about will be happening next week and will be the second one. Like I said, if you are a researcher, if you are an academician, if you are a postgraduate and very interested in this line of purpose and career, this is your show. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number for you to engage. I will stay with you, Apofia. How will this conference benefit the public, especially in terms of job creation, new technologies, looking at improved services? How can the
question? Like I told you, we have invited different government departments and agencies. We have industry, entrepreneurs and innovators.
Right.
We have, of course, the academia. And we hope that through the sharing of knowledge and experiences, we'll be able to hear experiences, especially from people in the industry, about the new skills and knowledge that is needed in the market, so that this can be imparted later on by the academia, the students, so they are better prepared for the world of work.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but we also hope that there will be other engagements like joint collaborations, research projects, which will be more impactful and eventually lead to new innovations that will generate jobs.
Now, Dr. Martin, into reality and into implementation with the general public?
Yeah, Uganda National Council for Science and Technology supports local scientists through various ways. Number one, of course, is through promoting excellent research. That is research that would be very impactful to the society, the ones that would lead to production of knowledge-based goods and services. And we do this through collaborations with government agencies, the private sector, and also with the community. And with the scientists, we do a lot of capacity building, especially when it comes to intellectual property. Intellectual property is mainly led by Uganda Registration Services Bureau. But when it comes to that aspect of intellectual property generation, we normally support a lot in building the capacity of scientists to make sure that they develop intellectual property, but not only in terms of development of intellectual property. We also support in other aspects, like how do you go on to design a product that can be of market value. And we do that through on product development and the like. So that's in terms of capacity building. But also we offer a few grants, mainly on certain high value, let's say industrial value chains. And I think one of the most notable work that we have done is chain with the National Agricultural Research Organization, which has even ended up in production of chocolate and other value-added products. And then, of course, there are also other very prestigious grants that we offer. Right. One of them is what is known as the Oliver Tambo Africa Research Chairs Initiative. That has been named after one of the great Pan-Africanists in South Africa, Oliver Tambo, and we are introducing what is known as the Africa Research Chairs Initiative, where we bring in a group of researchers to work on very highly specialized products and services.
Right. Thank you very much. Yanimo, thank you so much for getting in touch. You say thank you. Thank you too for watching. Staying with you, Dr. Martin, how is the council able to work with all these stakeholders and how they flow into each other, from the government to academia to the private sector, how they're all able, as well as communities, local communities, how they're all able to flow into each other to ensure that this research is put out there and is also impacting economic growth for Uganda? Yeah,
I will start with the government. So with the government, as you are aware now, we have the National Development Plan 4.
Yes.
And the National Development Plan 4 has 4 key areas. That is the agro-industrialization, then tourism, then mining and manufacturing, and then of course science, technology and innovation. And under that arrangement, we have what we call what is known as program working groups. And one of the groups is known as the Innovation, Development and Technology Transfer Program Working Group. And in that group, we interact with a lot of government agencies. So through that platform, we set up priorities, set up strategies and implementation plans. And this is coordinated by our main sector lead, which is the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat. Then we also engage in what is known as the private sector working group.
Right.
And that's where we work very closely with the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Trade, and other government agencies to make sure that science, technology, and innovation leads to private sector development. And actually, one thing that I would like to put across is that there are so many ways of starting a business, but research has shown that business that has been started or generated through the research pathway have a success rate of over 80%, and the returns are quite high, both in terms of the social aspects, employment, but also in terms of the economic aspects. And then, of course, with the other agencies, we also work through either specialized committees, memorandums of understanding, and also issuing of regulations and guidelines to support the operation of science, technology, and innovation in the country.
Right.
And then with the local community, we also work, especially together with the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMRA. We are working with communities in Karamoja, communities, the Batwa communities, on like preservation of natural resources that actually have very high economic value, promoting research and development on indigenous knowledge systems, which are also things that are very, very vital for our society. So we cut across, and we are best described as the National Clearinghouse for Research, Technology, and Innovation. So there are areas where we engage directly, there are areas where we partnership, there are areas where we issue guidelines, and then there are certain instances where entities also invite us and then say, let's work together. Thank you.
Right. Apofia, coming to you and going back to the second annual conference of NEMRA. Take us through what kinds of research will be exhibited on that day.
Thanks so much. Given that we've called it the multidisciplinary conference,
yes,
we have a wide menu. We'll have research from different disciplines, including social sciences, where we have historical perspectives, social behavior,
right,
and anthropological studies. We have education, where we have research that's been looking at the different teaching methods, how policy impacts education, how ICT is also impacting education. We are going to be hearing from research on health, where we have studies that realize the interconnectedness between animal health, human health, and the environment. We are going to listen to studies that are about wellness and mental health. We have studies that are going to be speaking about science and technology, advancements in ICT and engineering. We have presentations on urban planning, and so many other presentations, since it's multidisciplinary, but they all tend to speak to the real life situations that we face.
In fact,
and how research is likely to address those issues.
Yeah, in fact, if you could paint the picture of how these researchers are actually speaking into the real world.
Yeah, you know, when I was beginning, I gave an example of the issue of Chitezi.
Yes.
Where we have the garbage issue in Kampala, and we have so many studies that have tried to come up with solutions or recommendations about it.
Sure.
We also have so many other studies that are looking at how, for example, the law, our policies, the law, how governments are supposed to accelerate economic development. We have studies that are looking at the different teaching methods, how they can be improved to get the best outcomes, and many more issues like that speak to real life situations.
Okay, very profound indeed. Do be a part of the show. 0709602592, especially if you are an academician, like I mentioned earlier, if you're a researcher, if you are into problem solving, if you are very excited about being a solution this is the conversation that you have to be a part of as we look forward to the second annual NEMRA Conference. NEMRA is the Network for Education and Multidisciplinary Research Africa, and started in 2018. And the conference, second Research Dissemination Conference, is on starting next week. We shall be echoing the dates as we go on in the show, but be a part of the conversation. 0709602592. Doctor, let's look at the opportunities of engagement, especially for general public, youth, entrepreneurs, you know, different small community organizations, especially those leading those organizations. If they attend and participate, how are they benefiting from the council's point of view? How are they benefiting and impacting everyday life?
Okay, so the scientists and then the communities that will participate in the conference, one of the benefits is, of course, is actually knowledge transfer and sharing experiences, and we expect that beyond that there will be a lot of co-creation and collaborations that will help enable more work into other emerging areas of science, technology, and innovation. And then other benefits that are also there is like from the perspective of UNCST, we shall also be seeing how we are progressing in terms of knowledge productivity. You know, the world changes quite quickly, and we need to adapt by ensuring that we generate new knowledge. And one of the areas that we shall also be looking very critically is on new and emerging technologies, things that have emerged, like, like artificial aspects. And then, of course, other things that we shall be tracking also from the presentations and interactions are like how we're moving onto the key areas that affect our society. There are things to do with, for instance, agricultural productivity, health and well-being, industrialization, climate change, and then try to make sure that we try to get a perspective of the state of art development in all these areas. But there is one giant there that we need to hunt for and harness and actually exploit a lot. That is the private sector.
True.
And the private sector is quite big, especially when we look at the different sectors of the economy. And recently we were involved in a study that was looking at funding flows in Africa for science, technology, and innovation, and then we were comparing the developed world like the United States, Korea, Japan, Singapore, and the like. And then we found out that in those countries, 95% of actually the money that goes for research and development comes from private sector. And then a country like Uganda, we are looking at 2 to 5%. So there is still very limited investment by the private sector into the economy. And we strongly believe that more engagement of the private sector into science, technology, and innovation would really lead to the transformation of the economy. When you look at the advanced economies, you end up finding out that the private sector, for instance, let's take the US, where you find Boeing and even Elon Musk company. Those are the biggest investors within the ecosystem. Our economy is still small, but we need to work through that to ensure that we have quite a huge number of private sector getting engaged in science, technology, and innovation. The notion that, okay, let's generate money, go and then import technology and utilize may not drive us ahead. But if, like in Uganda, we can generate our own knowledge-based industry that is linked directly to production of goods and services would be very essential. And our motto in the science, technology, and innovation sector is making Uganda the best, and mainly through science, technology, and innovation.
Right. That looks like a goal that, and that particular one brings me to the question, even beyond the conference, what is the Council's long-term plan and strategy looking into research, innovation, investment that reach to fit into the whole ecosystem and the technologies that keep on evolving?
Yeah, Uganda's long-term role, especially UNCST long-term role in science, technology, and innovation, is to make sure that science, technology, and innovation is the key driver of our economy. Our long-term vision as a country is defined by Vision 2040.
Yes.
We are talking of a prosperous, modern country, and that transformation is coming through generation of knowledge-based goods and services, and science, technology, and innovation plays quite a key role in that area. And we are also looking at that vision of transforming the economy from a $50 billion economy to a $500 billion economy. So we are looking at a UNCST that is vibrant, that is catalytic, that is pivotal in playing a very key role in actually ensuring that this economic transformation is achieved. And that economic transformation will be achieved by bringing in more engagement of the private sector into the science, technology, and innovation arena, because they are the key drivers of the economy. If you look at, for instance, the gold production in the economy is increasing. But just if you pick only on gold, and then you carry out product development, come up with very innovative products, increase the value, then the $550 billion by economy by 2040 can be easily achieved. And then when you look at things like petroleum and the like, which generates a lot of byproducts and the like, and quite a number of goods can be obtained, there are a lot of things. So we are looking at UNCST significantly playing a very catalytic role in this area. And our vision is to make sure that along the streets and the industrial areas in Kampala and also in many other areas, there are a lot of science, technology, and innovation parks and the like. If you go to Mumbai,
yes,
you will really see a lot of technology parks and design houses owned by the private sector. And I think that will really make us move forward. And for an economy to transform from a peasant to a modern, industrialization, commercialization is very, very, very important. So that's one of the things that we look at into the future. And other things that we are looking at, of course, is also on doing a lot of what we call science, technology, and innovation studies, like trying to find out what are the key drivers in our science, technology, and innovation ecosystem. What are things that have moved? What are things that have not moved? Why have they moved? And how can we re-engineer? And our minister always talk about the quantitative leap to make sure that we leap forward and move ahead. And especially when we look at the new and emerging areas that are coming, and that we need to catch up with the curve and also go above the curve. And the other things that we are looking onto is also to ensure that we have a very highly skilled and productive capital. At the moment in our database, we are trying to see that we have only about 6,000 scientists. And when you look at the whole country of about 46 million, then you'll find out that the per capita number of scientists is quite low. And I think this week or last week, Makerere University was also complaining about the production line of scientists, the reduction in the number of graduate students. So we are also looking at a lot of efforts towards talent building for human capital, because science thrives on knowledge and also on what is known as a community of practice, like for instance, NEMRA, when they get together and sit and discuss, that's when co-creation and innovative ideas are developed. So we are looking at a very strengthened human capital, highly productive, highly skilled, and a forward-looking human capital, because certain experiences are going to like fall aside, and you need to pick new knowledge. Actually, in certain fields, you'll find out that 6 months is too much if you have not updated your knowledge. But 3 years is almost the average. So we need to get into a system that we also have like continuous skilling and human capital development. And then we have also set up an excellent facility. One is in Namamve, and it's known as the Engineering Development and Innovation Center, where like we are doing a lot of deep tech work, that is modern things to do with augmented reality and all that. And then we have another center in Kirura with state-of-the-art facilities, especially on the engineering sector. And actually, if you look at our economy, most of our imports are around electronics and machines, especially in the engineering area as a whole. But Uganda moving towards to generate products around this area would help a lot with import substitution. But we are also looking at our science and technology having an impact beyond Uganda, taking advantage of the East African community, the African continental free trade area. And we are looking at our science generating products and goods that can actually penetrate those markets. And we believe that that will be something that will be very good for our country and development.
Right.
Thank you.
Very profound. From that long-term strategic plan, I see a show, a whole TV show, having innovators compete in producing different things, as opposed to it being just at university campuses as exhibitions, but a whole show. It would be one that would be beautiful to show the nation and showcase on different platforms of cable TV. Thank you so much for being on the show. At what level of my research do I get to be involved with or engage with NEMRA or UNCST if I am a postgraduate student? This is Engineer Aruho, PhD student, Busitema University. Now, this question I think is for the both of you, and I'll start with Apofia for you to answer this one. At what level of my research do I get to be involved with NEMRA?
Okay, thanks so much. The student from Busitema.
Engineer Aruho.
Yes, Engineer Aruho. NEMRA welcomes all students, especially postgraduate students, because that's the level where they are doing advanced research.
Right.
So even if they are just enrolling, they are welcome to join as members, but also we encourage institutions, if there are universities that are willing to join. We have a number of activities where the students can benefit from. For example, we have a mentorship program where they are attached to a mentor that will be working with them on different things, research methods, a mentor that is suited for the kind of work they are doing. in the area. We also have monthly seminars that where we invite different speakers, including people from academia and industry, and they speak about various topics, most of which are in the area of research. We also have conferences like this, where the students will come and present their work and get feedback. That helps to fast track, move from concept to proposal, then to dissertation. Because one of the issues I think that have plagued the postgraduate students' completion rates is that it's a lonely journey and they tend to be alone. So here, when you join NEMRA, you'll meet others who are on the same journey along with you, and you'll be able to share your challenges and learn from each other, but also get mentorship. Yeah, they can also present their work, and then the senior academics listen to them and provide feedback.
And I'll pose this back to you now, Dr. Martin. At what level can Engineer Aruho, at the level of his research, at what level can he be involved or engage with UNCST?
Okay. I think right away when you start thinking about research, and UNCST being the national clearinghouse for initiatives along research. Number one, I think right away you just need to get engaged, and first of all go onto our website and look at the research regulations and guidelines and the like, because that's quite important in developing the research proposals. But also we have a library and a knowledge center at UNCST, and through that you can actually also access quite a number of journals. And then of course when it comes also to knowledge around what has been done or not, we can also have a discussion along that. But normally with the graduate students, where we normally engage a lot is through research ethical clearance process, where of course we have research ethics committees in the universities. Like I think Bustema University has a research ethics committee. So it's quite good to engage with the research ethics committee quite in advance. That will help you in designing your study to make sure that it has been designed to the best standards possible. And normally our experience is that the teams that always have those advanced engagement always end up producing quite excellent work. There are other things that you can also get engaged with us, like intellectual property protection. We have a guide for researchers, especially in engineering. I've ever seen students with very good ideas, but then all of a sudden you just find that this young person doing very good work, very excited, and he has shared it on X, formerly Twitter. And then you find out that you are already lost in terms of that area. And also we can guide you how to protect your work and move on with it in a very excellent manner. But also we sometimes provide linkages to several international organizations that offer short-term training for graduate students, and in certain instances, depending on the area of research and the interaction with the donor community, you may get some funding. I think let me keep it at that level.
Right.
Yeah.
We are speaking into everything science and innovation, and in particular because the second annual NEMRA Research Dissemination Conference is coming up, and we have representatives from NEMRA and UNCST. That is Dr. Martin Ongol, who is the acting executive secretary of UNCST, as well as Apofia Agiresasi, who is the deputy managing director at NEMRA, speaking into research and academia and how these things can actually be applied in our everyday life. That is a conversation that we are holding, that we're starting to bring it to a close. So before the window closes out, do share what you have in mind or your question so that we are able to answer you. 0709602592. Coming to you, Apofia. Is there an opportunity for researchers, people who will be exhibiting their research, to be connected to investors for it to make commercial sense on that day?
Thanks so much for that question. You know, the fact that we have invited people from different areas, industry,
Right.
We have the private sector, we have the academia, we have postgraduate students. We will also be having exhibitions of innovators and entrepreneurs. And so we hope that there will be partnerships that will be forged, which might eventually lead to maybe joint projects, joint research, which will eventually come up with solutions that might transform our society and economy.
Right, very profound. I'll come to you, Dr. Martin, with your parting shots.
Okay, thanks a lot for this opportunity. And I'm encouraging viewers, researchers, and all the scientific community to join the second NEMRA conference that will take place in Makerere University, Yusuf Lule Auditorium. This will be a very good opportunity to exchange ideas and views, and we have top-notch key speakers from the country that will be participating in this conference. Our chief guest will be the Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda, Professor Augustus Nuwagaba, who will be presenting very intriguing paper on the interface between the economy, science, and technology and industrialization. So I welcome you all to this conference, and we are looking towards this conference developing more and more as the years go by. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Martin and Apofia, for being on the show to enlighten us as how best we can be a part of science and technology in Uganda, to be a part of the global trend and to advance as a nation. So be sure to indeed engage on the 1st and 2nd of July, that is next week. The venue is Yusuf Lule Central Teaching Facility, Auditorium, Makerere University, and it's for the 2nd annual NEMRA Research Dissemination Conference, one that you do not have to miss. For now, that's it from me. Ruben is coming up with GMU Sports, and we'll do this again tomorrow on a Friday special of Good Morning Uganda. For now, have a good day.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Okwongera okuyiga ebikwata ku musolo n'okubisembereza abagusasula. Bannayuganda bangi balina ebibuuzo ebikwata ku musolo gwe basasula eri ekitongole ekiwooza URA.
Nakapitalu ya mitwalo 5. Ngakala buli kitendo muntu asasuleko omutwalo.
When we come at revenue, they tell us to clear kitenge at 10,000.
Alikuwa fika kwa mwingine URA na kurespect kazi mzee tuongee. Munaongee. Akuna fika kwa nyingine na kamata faili yako naiko kwa drawer na
okutegeera obukulu bw'okusasula omusolo busobola okuyamba okuzza bizinesi yo n'okwewala okufiirizibwanga. Kati osobola okufuna okuddibwamu obutereevu. Sindika ebibuuzo ebikwata ku musolo ng'oweereza obubaka bw'obutereevu ne WhatsApp ku nnamba y'essimu 0790148887 olwo ofuna okuddibwamu okuva ewaka Kamisona General wa URA John Musinguzi. Laba amawulire gaffe UBC